Welcome to the Good and New podcast,
where the sponsors are fake and the hosts are buzzed.
and we say follow your feelings. Enjoy the show.
Throwing a lip pillow.
Upper decky lip pillow.
Yep.
Top Chad.
Fuck you, Chuck.
Yeah, fucking Chuck. What's his name? Schumacher.
Schumer. Probably Amy's dad.
Did he? Yeah. Oh God, they're both awful. So that makes sense. Did that go through, or is that gonna go through? No zins for.
I can't see how it would go through.
You wouldn't think big
I mean-
nicotine would let that happen.
Yeah, I mean, they're okay with people shooting up heroin in safe spaces, giving them free needles, but can't throw Zin in.
The things they choose to be upset with, politicians, unfucking believable.
Yep.
Do you have a rough guess? This is off topic. How are you doing?
Good, and you?
Pretty good, and you. We're jumping around, so there's an interview coming later. Trevor with BHA, AFI. You'll find out everything you need to know. Incredible interview.
Great interview.
Coming up in a little bit here. So we're doing our beginning part now, whatever. Do you know how much money estimated it would take to end homelessness in the United States?
Oh, boy.
Now, again, this is estimated via social media, so probably nowhere near accurate, but
Probably
I've seen it
less than what we sent to Ukraine.
Exactly. Big time less. It's actually just a little bit more than what we're about to send to
Israel?
Israel, Iran. They're all the same. I have no fucking clue.
Iran is the one that is not friendly right now.
Oh, got it. My mistake. Dude, I saw have I sent you some of the videos from this, like, warrior whatever blah 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 Instagram account that's like live footage or video from war zones?
No.
Dude, a guy they just shot Swiss cheese, like shot 30 times into him today as he ran up on him with a knife.
I did see
You
that,
saw that
though.
guy?
I saw that on X, yeah.
Yeah. In Gaza or something?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some 14-year-old Palestinian kid tried to stab an IDF?
IDF,
right,
yep.
soldier.
Yep.
And then, yeah.
Oh my God, dude, it was brutal. Like, I literally watched the guy die, like faces of death type stuff.
Yeah.
He was trying to like get up and then like another 10 shots and then head just down.
I like to go on X to get like Packers
X,
news and well, I do like on X as well, but formerly known as Twitter.
Oh.
To get like Packers news and NFL news, and then I get like people getting shot in the head.
Mm-hmm.
And
Dude, there's an X account that's like strictly Chicago street violence.
Oh.
And it's brutal.
no, thank you.
Oh my God. So yeah, this is a family show. We'll get to the lighthearted stuff later. Housekeeping, we may have talked about it, may have not in the interview portion, whatever. Supposedly, our landlord, Bo, shout out, thank you for the studio, buy houses from him. Supposedly, Bo did not throw the snowball on episode 56.
So it was probably that guy in the truck.
I don't know who that is.
I don't either.
So fuck that guy, whoever that was.
Yeah.
Like, if that would have broke the window, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Jeez
Our
Louise.
landlord would have been pissed.
Dude.
And our rent check wouldn't have covered it.
No, because we never sent one. Other housekeeping.
People probably think that I was an idiot when I listened back. You had mentioned that the Brazilian was 32 years old when I said Pele.
Oh,
Pele, definitely not 32, and RIP.
way to go. I did not catch that, nor would I have even connected those two things, but it makes sense when you say it now. Trivia episode, great feedback. Greg, Cam, and Stu, excellent guests.
Mm-hmm.
They were very happy with the like being part of it. I think we need to make that a reoccurring thing, like the 5 of us, #5 guys, not the place with the burgers and fries.
Maybe even if we can get Pop Can in here too. The whole golf spectrum.
Oh, yeah. That would be a six-sum that is tough to beat.
6 dudes, 2 couches.
6 dudes, 2 couches. And, I mean, yeah, that one seats 3, I think. We can squeeze Popcan's girthy member into that. So, yeah, shout out those guys. Thank you. And to all the listeners, thank you very much. Have you looked at our YouTube subscribers recently?
I have not. Where are we at?
We're close to 80.
Holy shit.
I didn't want to tell you because I did a boosted like promotion on YouTube, and that secured us roughly, I think it said 10 or 12. I mean, I can take a look at it. and it got us some extra views, but because of the $10 or $15 spent, it's attributing those new likes or subscribers to it. So I haven't got my tits out yet because of it.
I didn't even know that you could boost on YouTube, and technically I didn't know you could boost on any of these except had it not been for you.
It's a newer thing. It's like a promotions tab that's like, I feel like I've never seen it before. You used to, from what I understood, had to have like a much more significant channel. Maybe it's like a time thing, like you had to have been around a year at least. And
Okay.
I don't know.
Yep.
But all of a sudden, it was there, and I tried it, and it worked.
So now do we have to start making shorts for Mitchell?
Yeah, Mitchell loves the YouTube shorts. Jeff Clark, shout out Jeffy. He has a YouTube channel that he posts all sorts of different videos and shorts for
really?
whatever reason, because he likes it. He's got some stuff that's got like 20,000 views, whatever. Like he's getting some like high quality views.
You'll have to share that with me.
I will. And he posted some of our stuff when I sent him the clips. So yeah, we'll have to do some more YouTube stuff. Other than that, for housekeeping, I think that's it.
Yep.
Go watch the trivia episode or listen.
Stick around for the interview that will be after this.
Yes. Brand new person in both of our lives. Never met the guy before.
Yeah.
Very knowledgeable. Very cool. And let's get into the stuff. Do I start? National Day, or do you start with birthdays?
I don't remember.
Oh, I thought you were just about to tell me that you did National Day
No,
also.
I definitely have birthdays.
Okay.
Do we start?
I mean, National Day seems like it makes sense.
Yeah.
To start that way?
Yeah. Yep.
And I had these prepared for you and Trevor, so you just get all of them
I
now?
did as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
You were going to be first, so.
He's a busy guy, time crunch, so
Yeah,
that's why he's not.
Dude, he drove an hour to get here for an interview for an hour, to drive an hour back to do an hour and a half to 2 hour seminar on trapping.
Yeah.
So.
Busy guy.
Fucking dedicated, man.
Yeah.
Good for him. On the 7th, this comes out, February 7th, National Periodic Table Day.
Okay.
National Ballet Day.
All right.
Kyle, I need you to tell me, if your life depended on it, which of those could you become an expert with?
Periodic table. I've at least taken a chemistry class.
Okay, so you're comfortable with that. Now,
More so than ballet, yeah.
Now, what if I said it wasn't performing ballet, but you just had to be like an expert
I
ballet historian?
have zero interest in it, so there's
Okay.
There's 0% chance that could happen.
You would learn a shit ton about the periodic table.
Yeah.
What do you know about it right now? Anything? Because I don't know anything.
Yeah, like it's got the elements and stuff.
Well,
and
I know
some
that
of the
part.
like
I know that part.
2-letter codes or whatever for
Yep.
them.
But
Like iron is Fe,
okay, there you go. That's what
gold
I
is
was looking for.
Au,
Oxygen.
or is that silver? Or is silver Ag? I don't remember.
I just always liked looking at the table and like trying to like pair stuff together to make slur words or bad words.
Yeah, that's what most people did in chemistry.
All right, that's the 7th. So you're going to be a periodic table expert.
Yes.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Birthday's on the 7th. We're going to do word association.
Oh boy.
There are 6 of them, just not that it matters, but Chris Rock turning 59.
Slap.
Ashton Kutcher turning 46.
Mila.
James Spader turning 63. Robert, California.
That's right. Okay. Closeted.
Steve Nash turning 50.
Dribbling.
Happy half century to Steve.
Yeah.
Garth Brooks, 62.
Chris Bridges. Or no, what's his name? Gaines.
Chris Gaines.
Chris Gaines.
Matthew Stafford turning 36.
Loser.
Those are your birthdays.
Wow. Trying to think back to James Spader. Besides The Office, what else is he famous for?
I cannot remember what the name of that other show was that he was on. It was like maybe, I don't know.
Anyhow, like
The only one I ever watched was
The Office.
The Office.
And would you agree, when he had the party at his house or whatever, he was kind of like into making Ryan do some weird shit or whatever? Like there's something
talking
going,
about dripping mutton juices down his chest.
there's something going on there. All right. On the 8th, I want you to tell me how you would celebrate each of these.
Okay.
Fat Thursday. Are you familiar?
I've heard of Fat Tuesday, but not Fat Thursday.
So supposedly Fat Thursday is the last. But isn't Fat Tuesday the thing for Lent?
Yeah, it's the day before Ash Wednesday, which is when Lent starts.
So why the fuck did Fat Thursday come up? Because I was the same thing, but it's like the exact same thing. The last Thursday before.
So is there a Fat Friday, a Fat Saturday, a Fat Sunday?
I guess, maybe. So you know what it is, whether it's incorrect or correct. How would you celebrate if you're going to participate in the, what do you call it, abstaining from goodies or food, certain foods?
By living my life because I don't give anything up for Lent.
Okay. I thought I could get something interesting out of our guest, like learn a little bit about him, like how he would do it. National Iowa Day. What would you and Cody Weber
I'm
do?
going to shoot web attacks.
So that's on the 8th, remember. Everybody, if you have Cody
That's-
Weber's phone number in your phone, reach out.
Yep.
Maybe call after 9 because he'll be sleeping until at least 9 a.m.
Yeah. Those are it, those two?
Those are the two I picked for the 8th. Not a
right.
bunch of cool shit.
All right, so birthday's on the 8th. So you have to take one of these guys on in their respective sport. Who do you think you would stand a better chance against? Clay Thompson, turning 34. Paul Wright, a.k.a. The Big Show, turning 52.
Ooh.
Or Kimbo Slice, R.I.P.
Oh, God. Definitely not Kimbo Slice and R.I.P. for sure. Some of the greatest like YouTube videos when YouTube was first becoming a thing. Seeing him beat the shit out of people in backyards.
Yeah, what was that?
It wasn't.
It was just like Backyard Brawl or whatever,
Backyard
right?
Brawl. Yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah.
Um,
Because it wasn't
made it.
not the homeless one.
He made it to MMA.
Yeah. He was on a season of The Ultimate Fighter.
Yeah, okay. So definitely not him. Much respect to what he does. I mean, Clay Thompson would beat me in basketball for sure. The Big Show would probably kill me, but I feel like I could make that more entertaining, especially if it's not like real wrestling or real fighting.
Yeah.
So
As long as you don't have to like give him a suplex or anything.
oh god, no! I mean, I would go top rope on him. I'd kick out his knee or something.
You'd be like Rey Mysterio
compared
to him.
Yeah, I'd take that. Wow, how old is Big Show?
Big Show is turning, I think it was 52. I thought he would have been older than that. Yeah, 52.
Dude, I mean, he's like a Great Dane though. His life expectancy is, I mean, because he's so big.
Yeah.
It's lower. He was in. Did you ever watch Royal Pains?
Is that a TV show or a movie?
It's a TV show about like a concierge doctor on the Hamptons or Long Island or something.
No.
He was in like a half a season of that. It was really weird to see, like him playing just some like boyfriend of a
acting role.
Mm-hmm.
Huh.
All right, on the 9th, you have to pick two of the following and combine them for a date with your better half. Okay, so you're gonna pick two of these things to celebrate on this day.
Oh, okay. My mind was on like people and birthdays, so I'm like, I don't know how that's gonna work.
So
okay.
you and your wife are gonna have a date.
We're going out on a date, and we have to do two of these things.
Yeah.
Okay.
National Pizza Day.
Okay.
National Bagel and Lox Day.
Okay.
Welsh Language Music Day. International Winter Bike to Work Day. And National Read in the Bathtub Day.
That just sounds like you're gonna ruin a book. I guess we're getting fat. We're eating bagels and lox and pizza.
Have you ever had bagel and lox before?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
good stuff.
Love it. I really thought you were going to do pizza in the bathtub.
Pizza in the bathtub?
While reading to her. Yeah.
We don't really read to each other. That's not something we typically
That's what
do.
I would pick for you to do.
Okay.
And then have to ride your bike to work the next day.
I'm also not a bathtub guy.
You don't take baths?
No.
I don't remember the last time I took a bath. Do you like hot tubs?
No, I don't.
You don't?
I really don't like bath or hot tubs.
You don't like bathing?
I like showering. Yeah.
Quick shower? Or do you sometimes indulge in a nice
Sometimes
long
I
one?
indulge, yeah.
Yeah. Got it. Good to
All
know.
Birthday's on the 9th. You're going to blind rank net worths.
Okay.
There are... Jeez. I had to give some context because I think this was for him, just in case. So there's 4 of them. 5
people.
of them.
5 people.
1, 2, 3, 4. 5 people.
5 people.
Michael B. Jordan, turning 37.
He had some movies recently. What the fuck was he in? Where he's like a army dude or secret agent or something. I'm gonna put him number 3.
3, okay. Joe Pesci, turning 81.
God, I don't know. Has he been in anything recently? I mean, he's getting residuals for sure.
He was in I think he was in oh god, Martin Scorsese on Netflix.
Oh, so something recent.
Yeah, crap.
I bet he's been
The Jimmy Hoffa one.
okay. I bet he's been stacking his money a little bit. I'll put him at 2.
2.
I might have those 2 backwards, the first 2.
Saquon Barkley, turning 27.
He's probably more like 3. I don't think he's going to be number 1. I'll put him at 4, even though I know he's not going to be number 4.
Charlie Day,
Who the fuck is that?
Always Sunny in Philadelphia and Horrible Bosses.
Oh yeah. Damn.
The one who's got like the meme of the
Yeah.
lines going everywhere.
He's worth a lot, but I guess I'll put him at 5.
Jair Alexander, turning 27.
Ooh, happy birthday, John Money.
And
He's
you've
gonna be
only got the
number
one
1,
spot.
but he's probably not. All right, let me revise now quick. I'm just going to pick a new number 1. I'm going to say Pesci is number 1. Saquon number 2. Jair number 3. Jordan 4. And whoever 5.
I have no idea how you just did that. So the actual number 1, Joe Pesci,
Oh, okay. I had him at 2.
worth $50 million.
What?
Yeah.
That's it?
Yeah, that's it. I
And
guess
he's number 1?
He's number 1. Saquon at number 2, worth $45 million. Charlie Day,
Oh, fuck.
worth $30 million. Michael B. Jordan, worth $25 million, and Jair Alexander, worth $5 million. Which,
Because he hasn't been paid out yet.
yeah, in his contract, which is weird because he was averaging, what is it? His average is like $20 million a year or some shit like that, isn't it?
Yeah.
So he would have got at least. This might have been from like right after he signed the contract, so he
Yeah,
hadn't
that
been
might
paid
not
yet.
be up to date, so we'll say mine was correct.
Your revise was probably
Better?
very close, yeah.
All right. Oh, housekeeping from last episode. Donald Driver's birthday. I missed Donald Driver's
yes.
birthday.
Yeah.
Son of a bitch.
Happy birthday to a great one.
Oh, dude, he was awesome. Buckle up.
Click it or ticket. Do you think that's why Jair does the...
Strapped? Probably not. I don't think he's put that together, but it's a good theory. Makes me feel better about seeing it.
He's probably like, Donald Driver's the only guy that I probably couldn't have covered. So, I'm
Yeah.
gonna do a seatbelt.
In honor. The 10th. International, so let's see. Yeah, International Cribbage Day.
Okay.
National Flannel Day. And this is where it gets interesting. I want you to pick which day you'd celebrate and tell me who you would celebrate with. Okay, so you're going to pick one of the 2 days.
Okay.
And I need you to name 3 people that you're going to celebrate with that probably apply to the day or that are a good cribbage player, whatever. The first one needs to be a family member or friend.
Okay.
The second one needs to be a famous person.
All right.
And the third needs to be a character from a movie or TV show. So are you going to play cribbage or are you going to celebrate Flannel Day?
We'll do Flannel Day.
Okay. Family or friend, famous person, actor from a movie or a show.
Okay, so it's going to be you for the family or friend.
Mm-hmm.
Famous person, Paul Bunyan.
Nice.
And then From a movie or TV show? That was the other one?
Yep.
So just a character. God, who'd be a cool one to hang out with?
I have one in mind. Trying to telepathically tell you who it is right now.
Dwigged Schrute.
I could see him making his own flannel.
Yes.
So that's a good
Who
fucking
are
one.
you trying to...
Al Borland. Flannel.
Oh, fuck. That would have been a good one.
Flannel master.
Dude, that would have been a hell of a golf foursome.
Yeah. Paul Bunyan off the tee.
Wouldn't want him putting, though.
No,
Probably has
God,
no touch at all.
Exactly. Like I've heard on the golf course from somebody, I don't know who it was, might have been a perfect stranger, when they have a bad putt or just a not good touch, let's say.
I know what's coming here.
Hands like a lesbian bricklayer. That'd be Paul Bunyan around the green.
Yep.
Have you ever played cribbage?
Oh, yeah. We actually... So I played in, like, I don't know, elementary school, I think. And then hadn't played in years.
I don't think I've ever
and I don't know how, but Jessica's like, oh, we should, like, play cribbage or whatever. Bought a cribbage board.
You can play with 2, 3, or 4 people. I learned that.
Yep. We have not played it yet. Addison and I played one time, but I need somebody who knows what they're doing to reteach me because trying to like read the rules and play.
That's not fun.
Yeah.
Dude, YouTube University.
Yeah.
There's got to be an influencer on there that's playing topless or something.
Yeah, because watching cribbage on YouTube would not be...
If there's not
super
anyone doing it,
entertaining.
that's what this has become. You and I learning to play cribbage on YouTube.
There we go. There's our next video.
Jeff, trademark that, please. Oh, Jeff had great feedback on... He listened on his trip to Disney. He downloaded it, and I caught him right before he was getting on the plane for something else. I told him, hey, trivia episode, download it, listen on the flight. And he texted me mid-flight. He must have paid for the Wi-Fi just to text me. He said, this is
got
fucking
that attorney
awesome.
money.
Yeah, exactly. So shout out Jeff for listening on the plane.
Oh, so he did like my questions then.
Yeah.
All right.
He didn't not like him, to my knowledge. I don't know.
All right. Well, Jeff, that's what you're in for when you play next.
Yep.
So, birthday's on the 10th. We've got a CWC situation going on.
Lovely. Was this going to be for Trevor?
No, this was going to be you. All right. So we've got Elizabeth Banks turning 50.
Who's that?
The only movie that I can think of that she was in. Oh, wait. No, she was also.
Cody Banks, secret agent or whatever?
No. Zach and Miri make a porno.
Who was she?
Seth Rogen. She was Miri.
Oh.
And then she was also in the one where Paul Rudd and Stifler like have to like with the kids.
Yeah.
Role models.
Role models, yeah.
She was Paul Rudd's girlfriend in that.
That's awesome. She's kind of a bitch.
Yeah. So she's turning 50. George Stephanopoulos turning 63. He's like a political pundit, and now I think he might be on like Good Morning America or something.
That the kid's fake ID name from Vegas Vacation?
No, that's Papadopoulos or whatever, right?
I don't know.
And then Instagram star Mia Khalifa turning 31. That's what it said on the...
Oh. Isn't she like a OnlyFans or like porno lady too, though?
Yeah, she was in porn.
She was in porn. Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
But she's an Instagram star according
because
to the
she's
website.
such a fucking sinner, I'm going to have her Clintoned.
Okay.
And I will coitus the 50-year-old bitch.
Elizabeth Banks.
Yep. And I guess, yeah, married Papadopoulos or whatever his name is.
George Stephanopoulos.
Him too. He's got to have a little bit of money, and
Oh, I bet, yeah.
I don't know. He's probably into some like weird, crazy shit. Goes to some cool parties, maybe. I mean, politics.
Yeah.
They do
if
crazy stuff.
The one in the wheelchair, what was his name? If he was right with like
Stephen Hawking.
No. The younger congressman.
Oh,
When he was talking about how
Yes.
there was like drug and orgy parties in Washington D.C.
what is his name?
Oh, I can see his stupid face too.
I bought a T-shirt of his. He was the like super Republican one, right?
Yeah, yep.
Yeah, he had a T-shirt with his like little wheelchair logo, and like on the front of the shirt it said "Cry More, Lib,"
Yeah.
which I thought was hilarious.
Did you watch the new Dave Chappelle on Netflix?
Not yet.
So he has a joke about Oh fuck, his name just came and left.
Stephen
God damn
Avery.
it. No, but he had a joke about him, and he found out this guy. Oh my god, his name's on the tip of my tongue.
Christian
But anyway,
Kabapple.
so he found out about it, and he came to one of Chappelle's shows.
Wheeled into
to
one?
wheeled into it to hear the joke or whatever. And Dave Chappelle was like blown away that he had heard that he did a joke about him, and like still came to see it. He's like, a lot of respect for the guy.
So Chappelle said that on his special.
Yes.
He explained this.
Yep. Madison Cawthorn.
Nice. Madison Cawthorn. Yeah. You said something about, what did we, dude, Mr. and Mrs. Smith. The show.
The show. Have you watched it? Is it on
Prime.
Prime? Okay.
Have you watched it?
I have not.
Amazing.
Childish Gambino, right?
Fucking amazing, yes. Now, if I were a pig, I would say the co-star could be hotter, but I'm not. And
Who's the co-star?
I don't know, some Japanese lady. Sometimes she looks kind of attractive. I don't know, not for me. But she plays a good part. Good fucking show. Highly recommend Mr. and Mrs. Smith. Finished it already. It was 8 or 9 episodes first season.
Okay.
Family friendly, not so much. Some kind of gory death, weird scenarios, but
right.
hilarious and like action and really good. So there you go.
Give that one a watch then.
What are we on? The 12th?
The 11th.
The 11th. The 11th, supposedly, is Pro Sports Wives Day.
Okay.
Is that also the
So
Super
you
Bowl?
celebrate the wives?
I think the 11th is the Super Bowl, isn't it?
If that's Sunday.
That'd
be Sunday.
I need you to pick 3 pro sports wives to invite to your Super Bowl party. Any sport, just the wives, no husbands coming with. So, I maybe can you even think of 3?
Jason Kelsey's wife. She seems pretty cool.
Do you know her name? If anyone wants to look her up, just look up Jason Kelsey.
Is it Kylie?
That
Kylie
sounds
Kelsey?
right. Jenner.
No, not that one. So her.
Okay.
Gretzky's daughter, the one that's married to
Paulina.
Dustin. Yep, Dustin Johnson. God, who else would be a cool one? Brooks Koepka's wife seems like a psycho, so not her.
Yeah. She's like if Mahomes' wife was hot.
Yeah,
Just annoying and stupid.
slightly less annoying, I think.
Yeah,
but,
probably.
and then we'll go with somebody to kind of tone it down. Let's go with Kirk Cousins' wife. She seems like a weirdo.
Nice Christian. X Factor. What are they bringing as like a dish to pass or like a party favor? Each one of them.
Kirk Cousins' wife is bringing communion wafers.
Nice.
Paulina's gonna bring, I don't know, let's just say sushi for some blow. And who was the first one I said? Oh, Jason Kelsey's wife.
Yeah.
She's gonna bring Philly cheesesteak.
Yes. Nice. It sounds like a good party.
Yeah.
You got a wild child in Paulina. You got like a friendly, like kind of like tomboy, but still like, chick with Kelsey's wife. And then the Bible thumper probably loves getting thumped.
Yeah. Oh, JJ Watt's wife, maybe.
Oh, pro soccer player too.
Yeah.
She
Maybe
play,
sub her out for Cousins.
Yeah. She play soccer with the kids.
Yeah.
Like, go distract them for a little bit.
Yep.
There you go.
All right. Birthday's on the 11th. You can only listen to this person's music for the rest of your life. You go with Sheryl Crow, turning 62. Brandy, turning 45. Or Kelly Rowland, turning 43.
Kelly Rowland.
Destiny's Child.
That's
You're
my
just gonna
bitch. No, her solo career. Fuck Destiny's Child.
Oh, okay. What, she got like one
2
song?
or 3 songs. That one with Nelly.
Oh yeah,
Fuck, like middle school dance, like just
Not
absolute
good.
banger.
yeah.
Slow
okay.
dance material. Damn, what the hell is that song? Sheryl Crow. I don't know.
How
I mean,
long until you just drive your vehicle right into a goddamn bridge abundant?
It's between her and Sheryl Crow.
Yeah.
Brandy is no way, no how. Sheryl Crow, because there's more instruments and stuff to it, I guess. Right? Did she have a full band?
Yeah. Well, I think she even plays like guitar or whatever.
Okay. I might have fucked that up, but yeah, I'm gonna stick with it. Kelly Rowland.
All right.
Roland. On the 12th. Sick of food waste day. So specific to eating your leftovers and not wasting food.
Okay.
As specific as you can be. Brand, how you make it, what you do, what this, that, whatever. I need your top 3 leftovers in order from worst to best.
From worst to best
Like,
My
not
top
worst,
3?
but yeah, 3, 2, 1.
of leftovers that I care to eat. Mm-hmm. Pizza, obviously. Well, that's not gonna be worst. I guess I gotta go reverse order.
Mm-hmm.
Can I do like a group of foods?
Sure.
So like, okay, we'll go Thanksgiving leftovers.
Oh, yeah.
3.
Mm-hmm.
We'll do pizza 2, and brats 1.
Really?
Cold brats.
Love a cold brat. Just, no bite.
No. Still on a bun with all the accoutrement.
Oh, you put everything on it.
Yeah.
I like a plain brat. I'll do it. Hot or cold. Just wrap that, squeeze that bun around it so tight, and just.
Yeah. Are you?
I'll put stuff on it too. Onions, no ketchup, mustard.
It's gotta be good mustard. I prefer a good mustard. I mean, I'll do yellow mustard in a pinch, but
What kind of pizza is your favorite leftover pizza?
like brand you're saying,
Brand,
or
pizza place, anything. Like if you were hungover or whatever, and you woke up on a Sunday morning or Sunday late afternoon or late morning, and you wanted some fucking leftover pizza, what do you want to open the fridge and see?
all right. So I like Pizza Hut cold more than I like it hot.
Okay.
So if I'm going with cold pizza, I'm probably going to go with like Pepperoni Lovers
Pizza Hut.
Pizza Hut.
Stuffed crust?
I'm not a
Original?
big stuffed crust
No?
guy.
Okay.
Pan crust.
Is that the thicker kind?
Yep.
Is your mouth watering right now? 'Cause
A little
mine
bit,
is.
yeah. My stomach was growling before we started recording,
Yeah.
so
Yep. That's it for the 12th.
all right.
Don't waste your food, people.
Yeah, don't. It's terrible. Starving kids in China and the US for that matter.
Yeah. No, we're not going to feed them, though. Just send money to Ukraine.
All right, so this one, I'll tell you the birthdays, and then I'll give you the scenario. So Robert Griffin III, turning 34.
RG3.
RG3. Tony Ferguson, MMA fighter, turning 40.
Okay.
Joe Rogan recently said that he was, in his prime, probably the best person in his weight class, like ever. So, you have to have RG3 be the Packers quarterback for a decade, or you have to go 3 rounds with Tony Ferguson, and we can have Favre to Rodgers to Love.
Oh, God. So I'm rewriting history?
Yes.
No. I can't do that. Fuck. I was going to say, yeah, that makes sense, though. I'd have to rewrite it. Because I feel like we wouldn't fuck up RG3's injury. Now, I don't necessarily love him as a quarterback.
Or
but,
person.
Yeah.
He's kind of annoying.
He's annoying as fuck. I think he could have made it work if he didn't get put back, do the campaign to come back and fix his ACL with Nike and rush the rehab and then came back, got hurt, blah, 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 blah. If he didn't play for the fucking R words at that time. But no, I'm not going to rewrite history and let that guy fucking murder me.
It's only 3 rounds. He's smaller than you.
Assuming I got to live through all that, right?
Yeah.
Like I'm not going back and
yeah.
just making a decision then.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
I mean, he was one of the smaller weight class guys.
I'll gouge
let's
eyes.
just say 150.
Below the belt, gouging eyes, anything and everything. No holds barred, prison fight.
All right, there you go.
On the 13th, it is Canada's Agriculture Day.
Okay.
Okay. So, based on the information from this website about Canada's Agriculture Day, tell me what you think their top agricultural produce is. The website listed 7 things. What do you think Canada's top agricultural produce is?
What are you considering produce? Does it have to be like vegetables and fruits or just a
That's
plant?
pretty much what it is. Yeah.
Because I was going to say canola, but I don't... the way you look at me, like, I wouldn't consider that produce, but...
What the fuck is canola? Like the oil?
Yeah, it's the plant that they make canola oil out of.
Okay. Why do you know that? Because that's number 1. I don't know if it's number 1. It's the first one they listed.
So that's not what the answer is then?
Yeah, that's part of it.
I thought... You said I just had to name the first one, right? Or the top?
Name a few of them. Whatever comes to mind.
Whatever else they make?
Yeah.
Fuck. Wheat?
Yep.
Oh, fuck. Corn?
Not on here.
Apples, maybe? I don't know.
Nope. So you got the first 2 they listed, which I don't know if these are in order or not, but canola, wheat, barley, soybeans, rice, potatoes, and sugar beets.
Huh.
Yeah.
Would not have pegged them to be big beet guys.
No. That is it. Oh, you got birthdays.
Birthdays. On the 13th. Who would you rather hang out with? Jerry Springer, R.I.P. He could be alive. Randall Moss, turning 47. Or Peter Gabriel, turning 74.
Who's that?
The singer.
What did he sing?
God, was he walking in Memphis?
Still doesn't
Peter
know.
Gabriel. See what some of his bangers were.
Play one for us.
In Your Eyes. Sledgehammer.
Private Eye.
He was Sledgehammer? Really?
What is that? Play it.
If this is the same Sledgehammer that I'm thinking of. This music video, I'm pretty sure that's a sperm cell swimming around.
Greg doesn't have any of those.
This is the song I was thinking of.
Peter Gabriel. Fuck Randy Moss.
You're going with Peter Gabriel?
Who was the first one?
Jerry Springer.
Ooh,
He'd have some stories, I bet.
dude. Jerry Springer's probably buddies with Peter Gabriel, so I'll just run that risk. I'll pick Jerry Springer. I don't know that I've heard the song, but I love it.
When it gets to the chorus, you'd know it.
Okay.
But those are your birthdays.
Those are the birthdays. Some good birthdays. National Day of, nothing crazy, but we got some stuff in there. Valentine's Day. Next week, our episode releases on Valentine's Day. Any plans? Anything in the works that you can or cannot say?
No.
You got big plans.
I'm going to have to talk to the missus because her birthday is the day after. So, spoiler alert for birthdays next week.
And you got birthdays.
No, I had birthdays this week.
And I have birthdays.
Made it. I made one off camera.
Allegedly. I really didn't see it, but apparently it's in there.
No, I'm pretty sure that was still recording. So.
Oh, it was. Fuck. If only I knew the guy who edited the video. Yeah, that's about it, I think. Interview coming up next. Enjoy. Follow along on their social media. Go to their website. Do all the stuff. We're going to share a bunch of shit. Yeah, huge thank you to Trevor.
Yeah.
You got anything else?
I don't. No. Great interview.
Yeah, so here comes Trevor with BHA and AFI. All right, we are here, episode 57, the Good New Podcast with Trevor from the BHA BHAAFI. Did I get all those right?
Yeah, it's a mouthful.
It is. So Armed Forces Initiative, that's kind of your part of the backcountry hunters and anglers, right?
Yes, exactly.
Okay. So yeah, let's start with, if you're watching, you can see Trevor. If you're just listening, we're doing a cool interview with somebody that reached out. I believe, was it somebody that you work with reached out, or I can't remember right away. But...
I think it was my social media manager.
Okay,
Probably
cool.
reached out.
Yeah, you guys reached out, and I was like, absolutely, let's make it happen. And finally, we're able to do it. So, small overview or whatever of backcountry hunters and anglers and the AFI stuff.
Yeah, so we're coming up on our 20th anniversary. Kind of founded in 2004, a bunch of hunters and anglers, two of which were veterans at the time, talking about they're on a hunt in Oregon, and they were talking, well, there's Rocky Mountain Goat Alliance, there's the the Wild Sheep Society Foundation, whichever that is, RMEF, Ducks Unlimited, obviously, like all these species specific organizations, but with the public land, the public water that all these different creatures need to survive and thrive on the landscape. There's no organization protecting that landscape and then access to that landscape as well. So out of that idea, Backcountry Hunters and Anglers was formed. I think they had 16 members at first, and now we're up. We've got 157,000 supporters, something crazy like that.
Wow, that's awesome. Nice work.
Yeah. So as far as the Armed Forces Initiative is concerned, so that was started out of an idea by one of our board members, Jeff Jones. So he got back from Iraq in 2017, 2018. He spent about 3 months of his life, like took off work. He called it bluegill therapy, where he's just throwing a fly rod around, little indicator, catching bluegill on the 3-weight fly rod. And he had this whole, what's it called when you talk to Congress? Like a testimony to Congress?
Yep,
whatever
testify,
it is.
yeah.
That sounds right.
Yeah, is it where he just calls it bluegill therapy, and it's kind of like, there are a lot of people doing the same thing at the same time, but putting a word to it was like adjunct outdoor therapy for veterans. So it's therapeutic, but there's no psychologist, psychiatrist there present. It's just the act itself of being outside in a participatory or an engaging manner in that natural cycle that he found very helpful. And he happens to sit on the board of Backcountry Hunters and Anglers, and he thought, well, why can't we do this in a more professional capacity? So we started looking at Backcountry Hunters and Anglers. We started looking at how would we engage the military community? Are we already engaging them? What does that numbers look like? Or what do those numbers look like? So in 2018, we did our annual membership survey, and we started looking at the first time we ever asked, are you a veteran, active duty military, National Guard, Reserves, or Gold Star family member? And at that point, 12.5% of BHA members did fit into that category.
Okay.
Now, the reason that's significant is because if you look at the general U.S. population, it only has between 3 and 7%, depending on the survey you look at, as fitting in that population. So without really trying, BHA is doubling that our membership in that specific demographic. So then looking into those numbers further, this is where I start to get involved, first as a volunteer, now currently on staff. They start reaching out to veteran members of BHA, like, hey, what do you like about this? What don't you? What are you doing? And we get into this crazy statistic where at least one member of each state state chapter of BHA is a member of that community, whether they're active duty National Guard or Reserves, Gold Star family. So not only are we appealing to more of this demographic than we should be without trying, but this key demographic are some of our major donors. They're some of our major volunteer leaders. They're organizing the riverbed cleanups, public land cleanups, sage grouse reintroduction, whatever it is, right? Mm-hmm. So now it's, okay, well, Jeff Jones, this is a great idea, but also just from a business standpoint, this is where we're getting a lot of our, the military community kind of, punches out of its weight class there as far as donations, as far as the amount of volunteer hours, as far as just overall commitment right there to conservation. And I think that just comes from some of the core values of service, public service, and just you get out of the military where every day there's a mission, and then all of a sudden you're done, and now there is no mission, and they're ready to, that demographic as community is ready to cling to something. And it's
like a natural progression for them to want to do something like that. And they were probably, some of them, I'm sure, were into that, hunting, fishing, whatever, prior to active duty or being a part.
Absolutely. Most of them were most of our participants have hunted or fished it at one point, but they're like myself, where I didn't hunt or fish the entire time I was in the military, and it's because Year of training, year of deployment, year of rest, then you move. Year of training, year of deployment, rest, then you move. So you're always in a different state. You don't really know the regulations. You can't store guns in the barracks, like privately owned firearms on base. Some bases allow hunting, some bases don't. There's always a crazy like process to go figure out if you can hunt. So even if Private Hubs gets up the courage to go ask his boss, like, hey, do you know where I could hunt or fish around here? First of all, I did not get up that courage because the guy he is paid to scream at me every day, and we're busy. But even if I had gotten up the courage, he got here 6 months before I did. So he has no idea either.
Yeah.
So
a lot of people are dealing with that same scenario where they might not just, take the time or worry about trying to figure it out while they're active.
Absolutely. And then you have the whole other kind of dynamic of like the infantry special forces dudes that like I was infantry, like, and I didn't ever want to go hunting again. Not that I had anything against hunting. It was just no way. I've carried a gun around the woods before. That's work, man. Like just, you do so many years in the military and it kind of takes the fun out of it. And it took my dad and my brother, like, basically just dragging me out of the house. Like, no, we're going to deer camp. You're coming. Like,
okay.
To where it's like, oh, wow, this can be fun again. Like, this is not terrible.
Good for them for doing that for you.
Yeah. So it worked out, but that's mostly the participants we get are kind of along that same vein where, yeah, they've fished before, yes, they've hunted, and then once they get out of the military, they're kind of back into it, they're tiptoeing, and then once you get them to one event, they're like, oh, wow, this is a great time. Like, so, but anyway, yeah, so we started doing that research as BHA. 2019, we got a big grant to start what would become the Armed Forces Initiative. 2020, we hosted our first event, which was for 18 people in eastern Montana, teaching mule deer hunting, because at that point, mule deer tags were over the counter in Montana. Okay. So teaching a little bit of spot and stalk, a little bit of glassing, a little bit of like food preparation, and then a lot of, hey, here's where your hunting license dollars go. Here's why this public land swath exists. Here's what you can do as a member of this military community to help ensure this opportunity continues to exist. Because that's the goal, right, is you show them something new or something they haven't seen in a long time. They get so excited about it, so enamored, just so, ate up with the process of whether it's hunting, fishing, trapping, whatever, that they can't help but get engaged. And then you teach them just a little bit, enough that they can go to that Department of Natural Resources meeting or that Fish and Game Office meeting and say, hey, as a veteran or as a member of this community, I enjoy, the St. Croix River watershed because of XYZ and why it's important to them. And just that statement, that vote of confidence is a little more politically. There's not a lot of people that would that when you come like, hey, this is a veterans issue, like that would oppose it on either side of the aisle, right?
Yeah.
So it's a win for BHA. It's a win for the individual veterans, and from those 18 people, I think we're up to we just crossed the 6,000th participant mark.
Oh wow, that's awesome.
Later, so.
That's really cool. So before we get even deeper into that stuff, let's learn a little bit more about you. So you talked about like you were a hunter fisher, joined the service, and then stopped and got back into it. So like, did you grow up in Wisconsin? You grew up hunting and fishing here. Like, what is your story from the womb to now?
Sure. Yeah. No. So I did not grow up in Wisconsin. I grew up in the Ozarks of Missouri.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So I didn't move up here until 2020, right before COVID hit. My wife, I've been married for a long time.
Did you work for Jason Bateman down there in the Ozarks?
No. I know that show came out. Now everybody, like guys I served with, are just like, oh, that's where you're from? I'm like, yeah,
that's
sure,
how they know you now.
Sure, exactly. But no, so I grew up, I had my dad who was a really like avid duck hunter. Like he deer hunted, did all kinds of other stuff, but really duck hunting and goose hunting was his thing, right? We had Labradors in the house. And then my mom's brother was a big kind of houndsman. Like he liked running coon hounds. He had some coyote hounds, so I got to go do that. And then my dad's brother was a big like upland guy, so we got to work into like the southern Missouri quail. We crossed the river into Tennessee, Kentucky, Illinois, and hunt quail over there. Cool. And so I kind of got a really good kind of spread of all these different types of hunting, which was great. Really enjoyed it. But let's see. Yeah, I mean, I was skipping school in high school to go goose hunting and stuff, like just
priorities,
normal kid stuff.
Yeah.
Then graduated high school, joined the military. Didn't really hunt or fish again until 2017 or 18 would have been my first fall.
Okay.
So I had an 8-year break there.
Yeah.
Where just didn't really get into it. Took me then 2018 I had that, or it must have been fall of 17. because I got out in 16. So fall of 17 would have been my first like hunting season. And then that winter I got my first like bird dog that's really mine.
Mm-hmm.
Right, like you have family labs. You worked around bird dogs, but this one was really mine. Got my first bird dog, and then I got another one. Then I got another one. And anyway, and so now now I do this for a living. So I run Irish setters.
Okay.
So I think I truly think they're the best of both worlds. They have webbed feet like a lab. Very water friendly birds. They're water friendly bird dogs. They're very the cooperation level is very high, I think. And I don't know. I am also a stern defender of all bird dog breeds are great. You just got to pick what color you want.
Yeah.
Like they're a little different, but it's whatever you're into. Irish setters just work for me. They're very good, like turn off for a family dog, so they can turn it off and be in the house and lounge around. They can turn it on. They're going to work for you in the boat. They're going to work for you in the field. They're just really enjoy them.
So nice. Kyle's got GSPs, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yep. 2 short hairs, yeah.
Perfect.
Yep.
So when you said it's your first hunting season, like deer season, like in 2017 or whatever, was your first like deer hunting or like duck hunting and everything?
That was my first time hunting since being in the military.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So I mean, I'd hunted deer, and then it was also my first. We were looking at hunting on this farm in Illinois, and Illinois out-of-state tags are $550. And I don't know. I'm not like a great whitetail hunter, but I've killed some decent bucks, killed a lot of does, and I was like, well, for $600, I can get an over-the-counter elk license in Wyoming. So I'm just going to go do that. I don't need to go chase another whitetail and see what happens.
Yeah.
So started to get into Western hunting and did that for a couple of years. And now I've got a system worked out where I head west at least once a year.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, different states and on different species wherever I can draw a tag or whatever. But I've got a pretty good point build up now to where it's okay. I know I'm going to draw somewhere.
Right.
Very cool.
So do you cut your teeth on public land then? Or
yeah, so I would say probably about 80% public land. I don't know, wherever you draw the line between public land and public water, because a lot of that's like you have the Missouri River, you have the Mississippi River where it's public water, and then there's like waterways that go off of there that aren't technically part of the public water, but they're not above the high water mark, so they're not private land either. And
yep.
we did a little bit of toe in the gray area.
Yep.
So
nice.
Very cool. So now you just had an event this weekend, right? For BHA AFI.
Yep. So we had it's called the North Country Icebreaker. We kind of trade places between hosting that in Michigan, Minnesota, and Wisconsin. I think next year it's going to be in North Dakota for the first time, which would be great. But essentially, it's one of my favorite events that we do because I like ice fishing. Never did it in Missouri. Moved up here in 2020. Really enjoy it. It's well, you have to find something to do in the winter up here. It lasts forever. You got to get out.
Yep.
So great time, but we have seminars on like outdoor camping. We're building campfires on the ice. People sleep out on the ice.
Oh, nice.
Tents. Big like fishing contest, and then you have like different what's the right word there? I guess seminars. We had Ryan Ebert at the last one who does the pike spearing decoys.
Oh, okay.
So if you haven't seen that guy, great supporter, great dude, but he carves them out of wood, and he's talking about like cutting the hole, what you're looking for, what kind of water depth. You folks talking about like the whitefish, like this is where you're gonna find whitefish. This is why. Like basically, if it's an ice fishing or winter related outdoor activity, we've got a person, a guy or gal talking about how you can get better at it. So you do that during the day, and people are taking breaks. Then we're grilling hot dogs, grilling burgers. We had a big fish fry, like.
Nice.
And there's raffle prizes and stuff for fundraisers. But
so if somebody wanted to like join or like go to that event, can they, as just like any member of the public, can you go to that? You got to sign up first. How does that work to like be part of what you got going on?
Yeah, so just like any of these conservation orgs, we prefer that you're a member. You don't have to be a member to attend, but it'd be really nice if you were a member. For the military community, $25 a year. You get four issues of the magazine. I think we do like a 5th bonus issue. I don't know. You got to talk to Zach Williams, the editor of that. Sometimes he puts it out, sometimes he doesn't. I think it just, I'm sure he has a schedule. I just don't know the schedule.
Yeah.
But anyway, so you get the magazine, but all the events, whether you're a member or not, are posted on the website. I'm shooting for 12 weeks in advance, but cut me some slack. About 8 weeks in advance is probably what the average comes out to. So, but if you're just perusing that website every now and then, like just make it part of your click through during your day. If you're sitting behind a computer, if you're on Instagram or whatever, head over. I think just for the Armed Forces Initiative portion, just for us, we're doing 186 events in 2024.
Oh, wow.
We have space for 2,847 participants, I think.
So you kind of cap each one, like what your
yeah,
volunteers can handle, and
So, because most of our events, what we're calling dual skills camp, are the learn to hunt, learn to fish events. Like this icebreaker one aside, like that's kind of more of a fundraiser, and that's just like a let's have fun. But most of them, we're trying to stay below 15 participants because it's all based on how many mentors we can get. So, like for turkey hunting or a big game, we do try to stay to one-on-one mentors, sometimes 2-to-1 participant to mentors, because it's somebody out there. So during the day, you're learning what does turkey sign look like? How do you turkey call? Why is this type of plant important to turkey habitat? Why are we here? Kind of thing. And you're learning kind of that how-to turkey hunt in this example. And then in the evening, you're having dinner around the campfire. We're chatting. We're talking about what's the North American model of wildlife conservation, where do your hunting license dollar go, how is this state's turkey population specifically managed, kind of those the more the why to hunt or the why hunting works for the United States and why it's different than the European model or the African model, right? So that's how these events go. When we started, it was we'd put a bunch of research into an effort into like a 10-person whitetail camp in Sheboygan, Wisconsin, at one of the events I set up, and we get 3 people to sign up, and I'm like, golly, like, and now like we just grown to the point where if we can take 10 people, we probably get 50 or 60 people that apply.
Oh wow!
Nice.
So now we're in that awkward position of our what's it called, our desire or need, whatever it is, has kind of outgrown our capacity to where we get about 6,000 applicants for the 2,800 spots that we're going to have this year.
Oh wow!
So that's where we're at. So now this year, my job is the first year that kind of everybody in the field is now fully trained. They've all hosted one event. They've all like seen one event hosted with me. There are all these volunteer leaders in each of these states and military installations, different parts of the country, are conducting them 90% on their own. I'm going to go to a couple and like kind of like help supervise, help run it. But that's what I've done for the past 2 years is go like personally train people. Like, this is how you run an event. This is how I do it. This is how the insurance works, all the boring stuff that makes it easy. So this year, now that I don't have to do that, I'm working on fundraising is my main goal. Is how do I go find more money so I don't have to tell 3,000 people no.
Yeah,
Right.
Yeah.
Nice.
So you have a trapping class right after this that you got to head to, right?
I
Is
do,
that part of the same thing, or is that something else?
So that's something we're trying this year. We haven't really done it before, so it's an online 3-part class. I think we've got 6 of them this year. So this one is part 2 of the trapping clinic. So part 1 was, hey, how does trapping fit into the North American model? Why is trapping effective? And then just like trapping safety, kind of like very limited entry level. Tonight is land trapping. So I kind of broke it down to land trapping and water trapping. Excuse me. So tonight we're going to talk bobcats, fox, coyote, badger. I think we have a wolverine and a wolf part coming up. So it's a little bit of biology on the species, where to find them, and then trapping clinics. And then next Monday, same time, will be water trapping. So we're going to talk beaver, we're talking muskrat, mink. I think I've got raccoons lumped into that same kind of thing just because I always catch my raccoons near water. But the reason we started doing that is to try and expand it past. So it's the same classes that we give at our events, right? Like whether it's a waterfowl event or a trapping event or whatever, we're in those same, like kind of doing our top 6 classes. So we have a trapping class, we have a fly fishing class, a how to hunt big game class, waterfowl class, an upland class, and the other one is like DIY public land, like kind of a basic let's go do this class, right? So those are our top classes I think that I felt like are just the most dialed in. So that's what we're presenting online. They're free for anybody. So instead of presenting to 10 people in an event, I can teach this class, and I think we had 54 people showing up.
Oh, nice.
It's not as good as in person, and it's never going to be on Zoom, but it's ideally, like, my goal is that somebody who's a little curious about trapping, pays no money, comes to this event, is like, man, that was a good time. I'm going to invest $25 to become a member of BHA. I get $25. They get a little information. And next year, or even this year, this year, technically, they sign up for a trapper's education course in their state.
Nice.
Nice.
So does every state have a chapter of BHA?
49 states have a chapter of BHA. We are missing Hawaii, and then we have 4 Canadian territories, provinces, whatever, that also have a chapter. Okay. And then for AFI, we have 46 chapters. Well, we have 46 detachments because like legally they are distinct from chapters according to our 501c3. So I got to stop saying that. But
We won't tell anybody.
I'm new to this. I don't have a background in nonprofit stuff. I'll figure it out. But anyway, yeah. So we have 46 kind of regional detachments for AFI, to where almost anywhere in the country outside of Hawaii, Utah, and Nevada, you're 90 minutes from an AFI event or from an AFI person that can help you walk into this. Because the goal then is let's host these events, teach people how to fly fish, how to hunt, how to get outdoors, right? Mm-hmm. And then other part is, hey, I'm Private Hubs, and I just got transferred from Fort Bragg, North Carolina, to Fort I forget what the new names are, Fort Jackson, South Carolina, or something. Let's go Fort Lindenwood, Missouri, right? Or Leonard Wood, Missouri. And I've never been to Missouri before. In this example, what can I do here? So now we have somebody that, I'm from Missouri. I'm a veteran. I'm a Navy veteran. I'm not part of the Army, but I can talk you how to hunt turkeys in the Ozarks. I can talk to you about whitetails and smallmouth and all the other stuff.
Yeah, that's a great resource.
That's awesome.
So just somebody you can call, and you're not starting all over every 3 years when you move, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So we also have a club in Germany, a club in Korea, and a club in Japan.
Oh,
Wow.
Well, those are our biggest like overseas kind of areas.
Yeah. So then with that, like you can call and get information. Is there also like a network where, hey, I can go out and like maybe show you the ropes, like
Yeah.
meet me out, we'll take you out to this public piece or whatever?
Absolutely. I mean, that's the goal. I'd say out of the 46 regions, I probably have 37 that are real good.
Okay.
Like green light, they're going to do everything they can. They're perfect. And I've got the other, I don't do math in public, whatever that is, less than 10 folks are still learning, or maybe they're really good at fishing, but they're new to hunting. Or they're really good at hunting, but they're new to fishing. So they may not be able to tell you exactly where you need to go or what you need to do, but they'll get you part of the way there. Or they'll know somebody who can help you with the rest of it.
Okay. Nice. That's awesome.
Are these mentors are they very similar in terms of like they're either retired from this or they're still like working like private sector? Like, are they just all over the map of like your different mentors and everything?
Yeah, all over the map. Some folks are still active duty military. Our guy in New Hampshire he's about ready to finish up his 20 years in the military, but he's been in New Hampshire for the last 3. He's like, this is where I'm going to retire. Like, let me take this job. I'm pretty good at this. And then you have folks like in Kirtland Air Force Base in New Mexico, who our guy who started that whole detachment for us there, is now getting transferred over to Florida. He's still active duty. Then you have veterans like our Navy veterans in Montana and Washington and Idaho that are just running their own stuff. They're always going to live there. They're not getting transferred anywhere. So yeah, I mean, it's all across the spectrum.
Cool.
Nice.
So what stories do you have, whether it's hunting, fishing, that's personal or part of BHA AFI, that like come to mind? Like I sent you that outline, like, and set on there like some hunting stories or fishing stories. Or anything that comes to mind that's pretty neat that you'd like to share?
Yeah, I was thinking about that on the drive over, and I'm like, man, I don't know. It's not that you don't have good stories. It's like they're good to you. I don't know if they're good for other people.
Sure.
I'd say one of the cooler ones that we had was 2022, right? 2022. We did a kind of an intro to Western hunting class in Eastern Montana, which is an antelope focused camp because those are easier to draw than. I mean, they're not quite over the counter, but I think it was like 50-50 for a Montana resident if you're going to draw it.
Yep.
So teach people how to antelope hunt, and we had I don't want to say immediate success, but like day one, everybody, like we had people out in like one-on-one mentor to mentee ratio. Like all the mentees except one shot an antelope on day one.
Nice.
I'm like, okay, well, so now the mentors get to go out and like you'll see something a little bit different. They kind of like not quite switch roles, but now they've got the participants have gotten to participate and now they're going to watch an expert at work kind of a little bit, which is still valuable, right? So the mentors got to go try and fill their tags the next day. And then the third day, which was the final day, like we still had one mentee participant who didn't have a tag. And I was sitting at camp, just got done dropping some other people off, and I'm watching this watering hole. It's about half a mile away from camp, but it's relatively flat, rolling hills, kind of high, short grass prairie ecosystem. And I watch, about 20 antelope come down, and I'm like, man, if I had service, I would call that guy and be like, hey, you need to get back to camp. Like I will help you. Like, let's go. And then as if like on cue, the dude pulls up, him and his mentor were in another spot. And just the way that it played out, like the mentor had like split up, and he was trying to like kind of walk across this ridge thinking the antelope would see him and then head back towards. Instead, antelope did antelope things and started walking towards the guy, and he's like, he got within like 100 yards, and he's like, all right, well, I'm going to shoot it.
Yeah.
So then we had like, oh, that's not a good look, one, but I don't blame him. He's hunting. Things happen.
Right.
Yeah.
But so anyway, so I grabbed the participant. His name was Eric, and we start chasing these antelope, and they get we get down to the watering hole, and they've moved off since then. And we're like looking, and they're going under this fence to go into private. All right, well, we can't chase them, but there's probably more coming along the same direction, right? So we start walking, probably walked another half mile, and we see one buck just kind of trotting around on the prairie out there, like at least 2 miles away, which is cool. It's always cool being able to see that far. I like it. But we see another truck coming by. Guy gets out of the truck, because there's a lot of road hunters in that part of Montana, because it's legal. Guy dumps out of his truck, runs out to like a fence post. You see him put his rifle on the fence post to balance. I'm like, oh, well, this antelope's got to get shot. Dude shoots, nothing. Antelope books, but it's like booking towards us now. So I'm like, okay. It's like a mile away at this point. That guy, you see him like do the whole, gives up, gets back in his truck, goes to find another one. I'm like, okay, cool. Well, Eric, let's figure this out. So we start kind of trying to use the landscape and keep hidden, and it just starts like the cover just starts petering out and getting lower and lower and lower, and then like you're down to just sagebrush, which is about knee high. So we're just crawling, and I forgot this part. So Eric was kind of recommended and put forward by the camp by another one of our participants who I knew fairly well at that point, who had come to a camp and then was like, hey, how do I help? How do I volunteer? So then he'd been back to other camps as like a cook, and then eventually as a mentor himself. So he recommended Eric. He's like, hey, this guy could really use it. And at that point, we were like, yeah, good enough for me. So, but that guy was a pilot. So I'm thinking Eric is a pilot. Like a helicopter pilot from the Army. Totally cool, but maybe doesn't have like the ground or the rifle experience or anything like that. So, so anyway, we're crawling, and I'm immediately impressed. He's not complaining at all. Like I see him kind of wince a little bit when he crawls through a cactus, and I'm like, man, this guy's pretty tough. I'm like, he's on it. I'm excited. He's acting like it's the last day of a hunt, which is good, and it means he's into it. He's involved. But anyway, the sage just stops, and we just like on the edge of this mud flat, and I'm ranging this antelope buck, and it's like, I don't know if it's the heat coming off, because it's like unseasonably hot. So I don't know if it's the heat coming off, but something is just throwing this off to where I've got to raise up above the sage and try and get a clear line of sight. And what did it come? It came back at like 400, and I'm like, shit. We shot out to 300 on the first day, like trying to make sure everybody was zeroed, everybody's comfortable, because these come with pre-instructions, right? Where I'm like, you need to be this amount of physically fit, you need to be able to shoot here, like this is pre-work that we're gonna make sure you're okay with the camp. So I'm like, Eric, he's at 4. We only practice at 3. Are you okay? He's like, I can shoot 4. I'm like, okay.
Hell yeah.
If Eric's good with it, like, and he's got this super fancy rifle. That's that's the other thing. That's side note is a lot of our participants are on average our participants leave an event or for an event they spend $600 of their own money on outdoor gear. Which is a lot when you say like we're doing 2,800 participants, because that's 2,800 times 600 is whatever, like 140,000 or something crazy. It's a shit ton of money.
Yeah.
Sorry, I cursed.
No, you're fine.
I think I've done it 3 or 4 times now, but anyway, so we're at the edge of the cover. We cannot go any further. We're crawling. I'm just eyes pressed into my binos, like sweat is running down, like you're just grimy because you've been crawling through the dust for half a mile. And Eric shoots. Right in line, but just low, kicks up dust. Buck doesn't move. It's bedded down. I'm going through the motions like, hey, let's calm down. These happen. Take our time. Re-rack. Safety off. Let's call this 450. Because I'm like, he's close. He shoots 450, zips over its back. And I'm like, it's like he's right in line with the money, right where he should be. He's just high or low. And I'm like, okay. 425. Let's try it again. But after the second, the buck stands up now and is like walking off. So I'm trying to get him to slow down or do anything, and then he's out 500, 600. He's just out. He's gone. And I'm like, so I'm getting ready to do the hey man, it's hunting. That happens. Don't beat yourself up. Like I'm sure I lased it wrong, gave you the wrong range. I should have known that. Like just consoling him. But so I come up to a knee, and I have this big like white cowboy hat on because you can tell by my complexion the sun is not my friend. But because I mean I'm Missouri, you could kind of get away with a cowboy hat, but it's definitely not cowboy country, you know.
Sure.
So I literally just wear it for whenever I'm on the prairie, either bird hunting or antelope hunting, because I can do a lot of uncomfortableness. I can't do sunburn. I hate it. But anyway, so I take this cowboy hat off. I'm like wiping sweat. And I'm just kind of holding it here, but so it's a big white circle. I'm not even thinking about it. This antelope starts turning around at 600 yards. And it's like, I'm like, what the hell is going on? I'm like,
Flag
Eric,
him in.
stay down, Eric. But I'm like on a knee, just like hiding behind my cowboy hat with my rangefinder just kind of propped up next to it. Like, thing just circles around and comes back in from 600 yards. It gets to 400, and I'm like, I'm reading a range of 400 yards, Eric. But he's still coming. Let's hang on. 300, 200, 125. And I'm like, Eric, is at 125. He's going to figure it out any second that this is not, I am not an antelope. You got to take the shot. Eric's like, well, I want him broadside because he's walking straight towards us.
Yep.
Comes into 87 yards. And then kind of figures it out where he just takes a half step to where now he's quartering two. And I'm like, Eric, that's all you're going to get. Boom. Like, I didn't even finish the sentence.
Oh, nice.
Sent it, dropped him. He took like 10 steps and, clunked over. It was a super cool experience. Eric, like we butchered the animal, put it on our backs, walked a couple miles back to camp. Like he's all smiles, he's thrilled. Just a cool experience, one for everybody involved. Like I've never decoy. I know you can decoy in.
Yeah.
Like everybody's seen whatever Steven Ranella do it, or like it's possible, but I'd never seen it done, never done it, and then you just kind of do it by accident. But it was pretty cool. And then the coolest part, though, is talking with Eric. I'm like, hey, is this something you think you can get involved in? Like, you interested? And he's like, yes, this is amazing. He's like, hey, can I still go get an elk tag? I'm like, no, well, elk season was mostly, in September last month. He's like, well, I'm going to go after elk. Let's look at that next year. So him and his mentor, that wasn't me, the other mentors, like, they're kind of talk through it. They talk about what elk is. And so he goes out on his own, and on Halloween, I get a picture from him of a bull elk down.
Oh,
that's
wow.
awesome.
Like, packed it out himself. Like,
oh, wow.
Yeah, and he's, I don't know, he is retired from the military. He's old. Not too, I've never packed an elk out by myself.
Yeah.
But just making multiple trips, that was, yeah, dude. So, one, cool event with the pronghorn. Two, it looks like it's working. He's buying another hunting license. Like, if we measure that as the bare minimum entry into being a conservationist, is just paying in year over year. Like, he's doing that. That's success. And he's finding success using what we taught him. Oh, I forgot. This is a little embarrassing. I'm, like, hugging him. I'm a hugger. I get excited when, like,
rightfully
animals go
so.
down.
In that story,
I'm like, fucking A right, Eric. I'm hugging him. I'm shaking his shoulder. And I could tell he's a little uncomfortable. I'm like, all right, I got to stop. But I'm probably about 80 times in the pack out and the butchering process. I'm like, I'm so proud of you. I'm just so, like, it's all I could say. I'm just like, and it's like, the guy who's very much my senior, like, more life experience. I wasn't trying to be demeaning. I'm just like, God, like, just staying behind the gun after those misses and readjusting and keeping your cool. Like, it's for any hunter, that's impressive, but for a new hunter especially.
Yep.
I was going to ask, so had he hunted much at all before that?
So he had hunted growing up. I want to say he was from Washington State, so I guess blacktails would have been his main thing. Maybe mule deer, depending on the side of the state, maybe. But anyway, so he finally, we're about a quarter mile from camp, and he's like, "You gotta stop." I'm like, and he's because just like the fatigue is setting in. Yeah. And I'm like, "I'm sorry, Eric. I know I could tell it's bothering you, but I can't help it. Like, it was just amazing." I tell him the whole thing. He's like, "Well, Trevor, I spent 8 years as a Army Ranger in the Scout Snipers," and I'm like, "No, but that makes a lot more sense." I'm thinking some like helicopter pilot,
super
pulling
happy.
off an amazing shot, and he's like, "No, that was the most calm." That was the easiest shot I've taken in a long time.
That's funny.
That's awesome.
Good for you, Eric. Like,
that is awesome.
So, yeah.
That is a good story. So he is, like you said, he's bought in, he's interested, he's helping now. Like, do you see somebody like that, if that's happened years previously, like, is it like just a few more years and they're like interested in being a mentor now? Like, they get to that point where they flip a switch and now they're into it? So
right now we have about 37% of our participants come back to a camp in a not a participatory measure. Because there's no hard and fast rules. Some people need more push than others, but we haven't had anybody come as a participant to more than 3 events. Normally, you come to one event, you get excited, and you want to come back and like, hey, well, you can be the cook, right? Because I'm not a great cook. I do hot dogs, hamburgers, and here's a deli meat sandwich. That's what you get. So if somebody wants to come back and cook, that's great. If they want to come back and they'll talk about their experience, or they get a little bit more where it's like, hey, I've been doing this like we had one guy who left an event, and within a year he was a fly fishing guide on the Yellowstone.
Oh wow.
Retired Army guy, like that's what he wants to do, and got really into it. And works for him. So obviously, yeah, I'm going to bring him back as a mentor for these fly fishing camps. Like,
Yep.
Works out. You do this every day. It doesn't take too long to get good at it. But yeah, so 37% of people come back in a instructional capacity or a assistant capacity.
That's awesome.
That's really cool.
Yeah, that's really good.
And then some go to places like Wisconsin Smallmouth Alliance or Ducks Unlimited, which is also fine. Like getting the military community invested in conservation is the goal, right? Like ideally, I would love them all to come back to BHA and give me thousands of dollars and to keep running this program, right? But no, I don't care. If you go to Ducks Unlimited and you're happy and you're just ate up with waterfowl hunting, that's awesome, man. Good for you. Go to Rocky Mountain Elk or whatever.
They're probably going to be, talking about how that your event, your whatever seminar or anything, like help them along the way.
Gave them the drive. Yeah.
Sure.
Because I mean, it seems like if you can tell somebody something like that, like Eric, his story, and explain it to somebody else who you think could benefit from it, like you're not going to like not tell them that story and show them the BHA AFI. So that's really cool.
Right.
Yeah.
So your guys' events, are you kind of 50-50 hunting, fishing, or?
It depends on the mentors and what they want to do. The way I've explained it to our volunteers is if you are doing something that will make a conservationist out of members of the military community, then you're in mission. So whatever you want to do. If you're really into trapping, let's do a trapping event.
Okay.
Really into fly fishing, let's do that. If you like to troll for salmon on Lake Michigan, let's do that. Like whatever you're into and whatever you feel comfortable kind of hosting, that's what we'll do. So it turns out right now, I don't know, in 2022, it was about 70% fishing events. That was mostly an insurance thing, though, because I was really pushing fishing because it was so much cheaper. Because that's our biggest bill. I mean, we pay $60,000 a year on insurance.
Oh, wow.
But,
so Kyle, maybe you know somebody that can help them out.
Yeah, well,
so then,
I have to think about that.
I think 2023, last year, we were closer to 50-50, and I think we're going to be like 60-40 hunting to fishing this year.
Okay.
Not an intentional move, just go where
just how
you do what you can
plays
do.
out.
Yeah.
Yep. Nice.
So do you have, do you work with, I know it's a lot of like public land stuff, but do you ever do like landowners or private land, like people like, do you know Doug Duran from Wisconsin here that's got like sharing the land? Like that's like a group.
Yeah.
You've heard of that?
Yeah, so I've talked to Doug Duran a few times. He has not been interested in having us come out to his farm. Not trying to call him out. It's his land. He can do whatever he wants with it. But no, not that I'm against private land. I think that would be great. The issue that we run into it with is you're teaching someone to hunt in a way that's repeatable, right? So then, like, if you're going to do a private land event, which we do private land events, a big piece of it needs to be how to identify where am I going to hunt next. Because we can't do, you do 4 deer hunts on one person's land. Now that person's getting 40 calls a year.
Yeah.
Can I come hunt, right?
Yep.
Like we gotta teach them how to go find areas of their own. So like
That
the
makes sense.
event we've done in Sheboygan, Wisconsin in the past, which is sponsored by, Pampered Chef. There you go. Almost forgot it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so Pampered Chef has given that one to us for a while because they own this big swath of land. It's actually an interesting story. So the woman who invented Pampered Chef, the brand Pampered Chef,
Yep.
then sold it, millionaire now. Like you sell a brand like that, you're doing very well. Planted all these crazy flowers, big gardener, like not a hunter, not an angler, loves to garden. So she has this like sprawling landscape of garden. But now all these whitetails in Sheboygan are just eating out of it. So it's like a mix of public-private where like we have stands. She has stands set up on her property. She hired a BHA member of Wisconsin to be her habitat management specialist, where he's managing so he gets to do all this like quality deer management stuff, measuring. He brings hunters in from all over. Like they have a goal of taking X amount of deer off this property, and then you have private land or public land around where he's also like kind of setting up barriers. So, ideally, deer have to pass in front of a hunter to get to these super expensive, like, flowers.
Yeah.
So, it's one of those, like, this woman has been more than supportive, like, super friendly. She was hesitant at first, and she's just like, no, this is working, like, super respectful, like, So I'm not against private land events. It's a big piece of it has to be, all right, when you go hunting next time, how are you going to access land?
Yep.
That
Right?
makes
Whether
sense.
that's requesting permission or a class on just OnX, how to identify stuff. Oh, and anybody who comes to our events gets a free OnX. OnX is a big partner.
Oh, wow.
So that's
That's
great.
awesome.
Good on them to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're wonderful.
Are any other? I was going to ask about like sponsors, like any other sponsors you want to talk about or mention or shout out.
We get so many great sponsors. But I've coming from doing 2 or 3 events a year. It seems like we're huge now, but we're still very small. Our first sponsor ever was FHF Gear, and they're still a sponsor. They're huge. Paul over there, and then Rick Hutton, and Jake. I'm gonna forget Jake's last name, but there's only 3 people that work there.
Oh, really?
So they're making all that FHF Gear stuff, and they're big. Rick and Jake are both veterans, and then Paul's a police officer, and yeah, wonderful support. Like as much stuff as we could ever want, they give it to us. We actually are the only place you can buy their stuff other than through them and First Light. Like they have
wow.
a special sweetheart deal, so it's on our website if you'd like to buy it.
Really
Nice.
cool. And the web. Speaking of the website, it's BHA AFI or is it AFI? What do you have to do to get to it?
Yeah, so if you wanted to be super lazy with it, you just type BHA into Google, and then the first one is going to be Boston Housing Authority. Don't click that link. Then the second one is going to be like beta hydraulic acid. Don't click that one. But the third one is Backcountry Hunters and Anglers. You can click that. You can click around. You look at all the different programs we have, like Hunting for Sustainability, Women in the Woods, all these ways of kind of connecting folks with public land, public waters, public wildlife. And then under programs, you'll see the Armed Forces Initiative as one of those available programs. Click the link. That takes you to my page. There's spelling errors, but don't just ignore those. Read fast. Have a couple beers before you go. Whatever. And
Donate generously.
yeah, donate generously. But then there's like a little bit about us. What's our mission? We've got like a blog, which is you can read stories of the events we've just done. We've got a leader list where you can see, hey, where's my closest person to me? How do I get involved? Events tab. What else do we got? Oh, we manage an archery range on Kirtland Air Force Base, so that's got its own tab there. So if you're stationed on Kirtland,
Really
go
cool.
to it's the only archery range on Kirtland Air Force Base. So
Awesome.
gotta go there.
So what do you have for events coming up this year?
Yeah, so the couple that one that kind of just, not a curveball. So we were planning on, every year we do a priority landscape event. So I've been kind of treating those as like marketing events because that's something we haven't been good at traditionally. So last year I really heavily invested in having some videographers, some camera folks come out and just do some like 5 to 10 minute videos. What is the Armed Forces Initiative? What do we do? Why should you care? So those should all be ready by May of this year. I mean, I'm not a film industry person. I'm sure we could get them much faster, but we're also not paying top dollar or sometimes at all. But anyway, so those priority landscape events is what I'm kind of calling those. So it's same as a regular event. I just highlight a strategic, like national level landscape. So 2 years ago, it was the Boundary Waters because we had that copper sulfide mine that was proposed up there. So this is one where let's really highlight the importance of this landscape. Let's talk about the smallmouth population, the walleye population, is all this cool stuff. And while this is just such an accessible wilderness area for the eastern half of the country, it's amazing. Last year, BLM is going to 2023. Last year, the Bureau of Land Management is coming up with a new it's not a field guide, but it's their resource management plan. I hope that's right. Which is how they're going to use this BLM land in Alaska, and it's like 13 million acres. And the tested plan, or like the draft plan that was released, was like they want to open 98% of it to oil and gas and energy drilling, which I'm not against oil and gas. Like I drive an F-150. I need gas, but it's 98% is a little much.
Yeah.
When the prior plan was like 30%, like even you could sell me on 50%, 60%. I probably wouldn't say anything, but 98% is a little rough, right? I mean, you've got Dall sheep up there in that 13 acres. You got moose, you've got caribou, you've got sea-run Dolly Varden, Arctic grayling, all these just crazy cool species that like people don't remember this. Well, some people do, but it took caribou when we made the road from Fairbanks up to Dead Horse, Alaska for that pipeline. It took caribou 10 years to cross it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, for 10 years they did not cross it because
wow.
And that's them as a species just used to wide open tundra. They're not.
Yep.
They do not react well to change.
Yeah.
So like if we're gonna change, like what happens when you put a bunch of oil rigs on 98% of this land, or even solar fields or anything like that. Like, I don't know how it's going to mess with them, but it's going to mess with them.
Yep.
Right? Like, and, but anyway, so I took 10 participants up there. I kind of say veterans as a catch-all, but in this case, 6 of them were from Alaska. And that's one of the biggest crimes I see in the Army is you get stationed in Alaska for 3 or 4 years and you don't get the $15 caribou tag. Or it's like a $25 moose tag. I'm like, good Lord, guys.
Yeah.
So just teaching them like, hey, here's all the logistics. Like, it is more logistically of a challenge to go hunting in Alaska. But once you do it once, you're like, that was not that big a deal. So like even for me, lower 48 guy, going to Alaska, $1,750. Over the counter tag, public land. That's not much more than you're going to spend going to Idaho or Montana for an elk.
Yep.
And it's a super cool experience. So that was the event we did last year. So for this year, the one that's on my mind right now, because I'm just starting the planning process, we are highlighting the shortgrass prairie ecosystem. We just got a new CEO at Backcountry Hunters and Anglers, and he's really engaging in policy. He's jumping in, and I love it. Seems like a great dude. I've only known him for a month, but he seems like a great dude so far. So he wants to highlight shortgrass prairie ecosystem. We're going to talk Farm Bill. We're going to talk the State of the Birds report from last year, which has upland game birds being 30. There's 30% less upland game birds today than there were 10 years ago. Two major causes are habitat loss, and the second, almost as much, is the increase in mesopredators on the landscape. So that's nest-raiding predators, raccoons, skunks, possums, armadillos, shit like that.
Yep.
So we're going to talk about BHA engaging in fence removal and replacing with wildlife-friendly fence. We're going to talk about sage grouse, sharp-tailed grouse, prairie chickens. Tentatively right now, it'll be 2 events that highlight this. We'll do one in South Dakota focused on prairie chickens, one in eastern Montana focused on sage grouse, and then you'll run into sharp-tailed grouse, both of those places. And those are like 3 native bird species that have been here since the pioneers that are really, they're all hurting to the point like Nebraska and South Dakota are the only places you can hunt prairie chickens anymore.
Oh, wow.
Like it's wild. And sharp-tailed grouse are, like I said, 30% down over the past 10 years for all upland species. Sage grouse you hear about all the time, but just going to bring some awareness to this pretty unique ecosystem. And it's interesting. It's my favorite area. I love the prairie. I mean, the mountains are great, but there's a quote from Theodore Roosevelt and he's writing a letter to John Muir, and John Muir is talking about like how these mountains in Yosemite are the greatest thing ever, and just like, yada, 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 mountains. I get it, man. People still love the mountains. But Theodore Roosevelt's response is he's like, anybody can love the mountains. Their beauty is self-evident. It takes a true conservationist to love the prairie. Because when you look at it, you're driving past it at 90 miles an hour in Montana. It's monotone. It's brown. There's nothing out there. But if you stop for an hour and walk around, like there's snakes, there's prairie dogs, there's jackrabbits, there's an antelope, there's big mule deer out there. Like it's a really cool spot. So I'm excited for that one. That's my biggest one I'm excited about. But I want to say we have 20 upland events, almost 26 waterfowl events planned across the country, 15 or 16 turkey events, whitetail events forever. Got those all over the place. But we got events all over.
Nice.
So we got an offshore or an inshore fishing event in South Carolina happening in like 2-3 weeks.
Nice.
Cool. You going to that?
No.
Okay.
No, I'm trying to 200 days in the field the past 2 years, like each. Like I've been.
I was just gonna ask. You're married, right?
I'm married with 2 kids, and I am. I mean, she's a military spouse. She's wonderful, but I mean, you get home. Like there's multiple times where I get home, I'm ditching up our like big game gear, throwing the dogs in the truck, grabbing my upland gear. I'm home for like 12 hours, then I hit the road again, and I'm just gotta quit doing that. 2 years. I mean, it was worth it. We got everybody trained up. Everything's going well. I mean. We went from 200 participants to 2,000 participants a year in 3 years.
It paid off.
So it's working, but hopefully now I can do a lot more of in Wisconsin stuff where I'm either behind my computer on a Zoom call or I am going to Pheasant Fest this year to try and drum up some sponsors, some corporate stuff. Like ideally what I want to be able to say to like Chief Upland Gear or I don't care, Irish Setter, Boots, somebody say, hey, I'm doing 24 upland focused camps where I'm creating minimum 10 people per camp, 240 or whatever that is, new upland hunters that are all going to go home and spend $600 on gear. There's going to be the first time they're buying gear, they're going to buy whatever they feel comfortable with, whatever I tell them to buy. And we have historical data that says this. for $10,000, would you be our title sponsor? Because I'm going to turn around and give you $100,000 with our business. You just give me $10,000 worth of gear. Ideally, I would want a monetary donation because that helps with the bills. Like, not that, I mean, I'd be very happy with gear.
Yep.
But monetary would be great too. So that's what I'm hoping to get out of this year, is just do a lot of these shows, get a lot of these meetings, talking to groups that bigger companies that can afford to throw 10 or 15 grand at us and know that they're going to get a bunch more business from it.
Have you been to the show it's in the Dells now, the Open Season Sportsman's Expo, I think it's called. It's in February or March each year. It's like the third year it's been in the Dells.
No,
it used to be the
missed it.
Madison Deer and Turkey show, wasn't
Deer
it?
and Turkey
they
Expo,
moved that up there.
No, I know I'm going to the Wisconsin Waterfowl Expo in August.
Okay. So, this one's coming up. I think it's either end of February or somewhere in March.
Yeah.
So just look for that. Open
Yeah,
Season.
no,
There's
I'm going to Google it.
ton of people
tonight.
there. Ton of companies there.
Yeah.
And it's, not too far for you to go to.
No, absolutely. That's the ticket right there.
Man, otherwise, I'm trying to think. So, you got the website that's got all your events. It's not restricted to military. It's for anyone and everyone that wants to donate or participate. You've got to apply. And, what else? You got anything else question-wise?
I guess are you going to be at Rendezvous this year?
Absolutely.
That's in Minnesota?
Yes. It is in Minnesota. It's going to be a great time. I've been on the phone about it almost all day today. It's going to be interesting. It's the first time we haven't had it in Missoula in a while, and I'm really excited about that. Missoula's great, but I think we're going to get a lot more people in Minneapolis than we will in Missoula, just because it's so expensive to get there.
Right,
I mean, it's $1,200 plane ticket versus a $400 plane ticket.
What the hell is this? Tell me what it is. I don't know what this is.
That's a good call. I should. So Rendezvous is kind of our modeled after the original kind of mountain man fur trapping rendezvous that used to happen in Wyoming every year, where all the fur trappers would come down from the mountains in the spring. They'd sell their furs and they'd get rich and they'd spend it on booze and new rifles and female company and all kinds of stuff.
Sure.
Just a big party. So that's kind of how it started. And we over the past 20 years, again, it's our 20th anniversary, we've kind of morphed it from we started like, let me thank all our volunteers. This is how much land we've protected. This is how much habitat work we've done. All this great stuff, and more just like a thank you so much for your work. So now we do it where Thursday night is all the volunteers, leaders kind of show up. We give out awards, and it's thank you so much for all you've done. This is amazing. Then Friday and Saturday, we bring in sponsors, donors, all these groups, and it turns into we'll have like a blood tracking clinic, we'll have an ice spearing clinic, we'll have a turkey calling contest, a public land access panel where you just get up there and watch 6 experts like Randy Newberg, Steve Ranella, Ryan Callahan, like all these like people who are experts in their field talk about how you can be a better backcountry hunter and angler, right? Mm-hmm. And then everybody heads out Saturday night, and we've made a lot of money. We've ideally made some better backcountry hunters and anglers, and Sunday all the staff stays and cleans up. That's what most people don't get about Rendezvous is it's a lot of fun, but the staff gets there on Monday, and we stay until Monday, and we work from about 6 a.m. until about 1 a.m. every day. Oof. So like you get to Saturday night, and you're like, wow, the entire staff is hammered. It's like, no, we're not. We're sleep deprived.
Just dog tired.
It's 6 days of caffeine pills and Red Bull, what you're seeing here. Like, it's wild.
I've not made one yet, but with it being so close, I might have to make it this year.
I would definitely make the time to come up. Just the people you're gonna meet. Like, that's the best part about BHA. Like, well, first of all, the best part about BHA is that they have an Armed Forces initiative. Second best part about BHA is everybody you meet is somebody that there's a value to having 2 or 3 drinks and a 20-minute conversation with, right? Like, you're going to learn something somewhere, and everybody is just so friendly, so welcoming into this. Like, come with an idea for something you never thought you'd be able to do what you want to do, like Wyoming mountain lion, Arizona quail, something crazy, right? You're going to meet somebody at Rendezvous. Like, you're like, anybody you talk to at Rendezvous, at any point, you're 6 connections away from somebody who's going to tell you how to do that. Yep. Like, I never thought I'd go down to Arizona and quail hunt. That was before I worked for BHA, but first BHA event. Like, oh, yeah, you like upland? What do you like to do? Well, I grew up doing a lot of quail hunting. Now I'm doing some ruffed grouse because I live up here. I'd love to get to the Southwest, though. Like, that seems really cool. And 2 or 3 people later, like, that person is introducing you, like, yeah, this is Bill. Bill runs 4-pointers out of Tucson, and he would love to take you out. And Bill, like, never met you before in his life. He's like, oh, you like quail? Let's go get some quail. I'll set the dates, drop your pins. It's amazing, and it's for anything. It's for elk. It's for Alaska caribou. It's mountain lions, like, whatever you want to do, striped bass in New England, like, there's somebody at BHA who is an expert at it, and they're so passionate about their expertise that they can't wait to share it with you. That's the
awesome.
coolest part about BHA.
That's awesome.
Nice.
We're, I think, approaching your hard stop line. So if we want to wrap it up here, thank you. I really appreciate you coming on.
appreciate
You're
you.
extremely knowledgeable on everything you're talking about. So it's nice and refreshing probably for our audience instead of listening to me talk. So
Doing my best. So
yeah, you're doing a great job. And we'll definitely share stuff on our social media, point people in your direction. Hopefully we can run into you at Rendezvous or something. That'd be kind of cool.
yeah, I'm always up for it. I'm this year at Rendezvous, I'm kind of a floater where if I'm not setting up tables and chairs or serving drinks, I'm available.
Cool.
I'm here to make connections and make people glad they're a BHA member. That's my job. So
Awesome.
Well, yeah, I mean that'll cover it. I mean, I think I can see in the future us maybe having another interview with you. You can bring somebody else with too, and maybe talk about a hunt or something. Who knows?
Yeah.
that'd be great. We could do it. We could do it at Rendezvous. I'll have 40 or 50 people that are
Business trip.
ready to go.
Yep.
Do it. Write it off on your taxes. It'll be great.
Absolutely.
Awesome.
And thank you for your service too.
Yes,
Oh,
thank you.
It was my pleasure, guys.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Pretty good, and you?
Good, Neil.